So we're going to talk about some smart ways to actually manage those school fees. Because whenever the school year rolls around, those fees obviously come to the forefront for planning and budgeting. So most families who have had a big Christmas or a holiday, or indeed have faced a lot of other debt or payment related items, they don't then have the ability to pay, for example, a $10,000 to $40,000 school fee. All right, so how are we going to do this? One of the first things you need to acknowledge is the fact that most families need to start saving early. So if we're talking about school fees for next year, we need to start now. And most families that I've advised already have started saving in the 2026 year because they have another child that's going to start in the 2027 year. So the best time to start planning and budgeting for that new school year is now. Don't leave it until the start of next year. So what financial tools do we have? All right, so you can make use of a savings calculator, and one that comes to mind is on moneysmart.gov.au, where it's free, and you can use it to work out how much you need to put aside for that school fee target. So for example, if you need $10,000 because you've got one child coming up that's going to go to a private school that their fees are $10,000, then as an example, you need to set up a direct transfer, automate the process of $815 a month at roughly 4% interest into your savings account, and that will help you meet the goal. If the fees are, for example, $40,000, you just need to multiply that by 4. Okay? Or you need to find another way of raising the amount of interest you're earning on your account. So if you compare those different savings accounts, there's maybe a possible better rates on a non-big bank like Judo Bank. They offer really good rates at the moment. You might be able to find something there. You don't need to be loyal to that bank. When it comes to securing funds for your school fees, and indeed if you've got more than one child go there, you need to keep your budget on track. So have a look at using the tools, as I mentioned, the free tools that are available to you, to find out how much you actually need to save each month to hit your school fees savings target. Rightio. So we've talked about that in terms of that. The other way you can do it is, instead of getting toys and other items for your kids, ask your grandparents, family, friends, etc., to give you the money, or give them the account details where they can put it straight into that child's savings account. And that way you can build it faster and also boost your overall return because you've got more funds going in there. So that's another way that you can use money that you don't have to actually acquire that savings target specifically for your child's fees for school. The next option that I'll give you is about using your offset account if you have one. So if you have a mortgage and you've got 100% offset, consider using that offset account. It's often more advantageous than a standard savings account. So if you've got any interest gained from keeping money in your offset that isn't taxable, as it's not counted as income, you can use that to actually get the fees for your child. But you must note that if you use any of those funds from your offset account, it actually decreases and reduces the interest expenses on your actual mortgage. So you're not going to have as much being offset against your total mortgage fees if you draw it out and use it to pay for kids' school fees. All right. And possibly the last thing I want to talk about is there is some government assistance that may be available. You need to check with your school. For example, there may be some offsets that the government may give you, and it's not means tested, which means it's available for you. Even if you're sending your child to a private school, there could be also things like transport subsidies and other of these government assisted related things that may help you, and it may save you some money, because as we all know, it's not just about the school fees itself. It's the uniforms, it's the kid's flute for his music lessons, it's the football boots, It's the getting there and getting back, the fuel costs. It's all of those ancillary costs that build to make sure that your kid has the best experience at the school that you've chosen. Possibly the last thing you could look at is it reducing some of those costs through bring your own device logic. Obviously, some of the schools provide the laptops. Others have a BYOD process where you can use a refurbished laptop or a laptop that's not quite as old, in other words, secondhand, but it meets those specs that you need anyway, and it's a lot less expensive. Also, you could look at maybe limiting some of those extracurricular activities that the school provides, that you just choose one less, or you don't have your child enrolled in every single thing that happens at that school. So in summary, set up a savings account for your school fees for next year now. Look at some of the online tools you can use so that you can work out what your target would be so that you don't have to keep dipping in and finding the money. Get your friends and family to put some money into your child's account so that you can build it faster and obviously grow the interest. Look at all the banking options. Don't be a loyal customer to your own bank. Look around. There may be better rates to do that. Okay, and finally, look at some of the money saving issues around using a secondhand laptop, looking at government assistance that are provided so that you can follow these steps to ensure that you have the money ready for those school fees stress-free. School fees. Normally, they're very expensive, anywhere between 10 and 40,000 if you're going to a private school. So let's start looking at some solutions now so that you have the money available when the school fees roll around. So if you're looking at a school fee bill of up to 40K for next year, then let's look at how we start saving those fees right now.